Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to use the HSA expense tracker. If you have not purchased this template, I will leave links in the description box so you can go ahead and grab your copy. When you purchase this template, this is what it's going to look like. The first tab is an instructions tab. Here you'll find my contact information as well as a step-by-step guide, and this will help you get started with using your template. I'll quickly show you what the template looks like, and then we'll go into the demo copy to show you how it works. This template comes with 4 tabs. The first tab is the setup tab. It does come pre-populated, but you can go ahead and delete this and add your own specific information. Here we have a blank expense tracker, and this is where you enter all of your expenses. And then we have 2 dashboards. The first is the annual dashboard, and the second is the multi-year dashboard. All right, so I switched over to the demo copy so I can show you exactly how it works. So now we're in the setup tab, and as you can see, it does come pre-populated with different categories. You can delete this and add in your own specific category by just typing in each individual cell. The next is the subcategory, and here you can add the different people that you'll be tracking expenses for. So yourself, spouse, children, etc. And here, different examples of supporting document. There's also non-applicable for those expenses that may not have a supporting document. Here's a section for adding in your provider. So this could be your doctor's office, your pharmacy, etc. Here you can add reimbursement status. Again, you can use these ones or add in your own. And finally, we have a payment method, credit card, debit card, or using your actual HSA accounts to pay for the expense. All right, so the next tab is the expense tracker, and this is where you enter in all of your expenses. The first thing you want to do is to enter your dates. To do this, just double click in the cell, select your date. So let's say it is today, which is October 29th, 2024. So you select that. And now we're going to type in the item. So let's say you got the flu vaccine, for example. All right. And then you select the participant. So if it's for yourself, go ahead and select that. Select the category. So this would be under medical services. Select the subcategory vaccination. And then you got it from your pharmacy. And you can type in the amount you spent. So we're going to say here you spent $50 and you paid using your credit card. Okay. And for supporting document, if you have a receipt, you can select that. Since we do have the receipt collected, you can check this as documentation collected. And then reimbursement status, it's based on the options you entered into your setup tab. So if you have been reimbursed or it's pending, whatever the status is, go ahead and select it. So we can say here it is pending, as we haven't submitted our receipt for reimbursement. And then let's say you do receive the reimbursement, you can type in how much you received. So let's say it was a partial reimbursement. So let's say $40. And of course, then you can change this now to partial now that you have the amount reimbursed. And here automatically calculate how much you spent out of pocket. So because you spent $50 for the vaccine and you were reimbursed partially $40, this automatically calculates for you. So you can keep track of how much you spent and how much you actually paid out of pocket. And then you can add notes here. So you can say fall 24 vaccine or whatever it is that you want to keep track of. Now you can go ahead and just continue to add in more entries as time goes along. Let's say that you've added a bunch of entries. You can scroll down, okay, and add in the next one. Or you can use the filter options that have been built into this table. So you see how this comes with these icons here. It means that every column can be filtered or sorted. Let's click on the date option. So when we click on that, you can see you can sort or you can filter. Let me show you how to add an entry without scrolling all the way down. So we're going to click on dates. Doesn't matter what column you click on because they all have the option for blank. So now we're going to clear. So after you hit clear, none of the options are selected. Now you're going to select blank. That's why it doesn't matter which column you select because all of the columns have that option, and click OK. Now you're going to get this message, and that's okay. This message is there to warn you that there are formulas that are in this sheet that maybe you're trying to edit. Even though you are not editing the formula, you're just filtering. So as long as you're not deleting and you're just using the filter or the sort option, this is completely fine. You can ignore this message. Click on this checkbox and hit OK. Now, as soon as you do this, you can see that you have a blank entry. And if you pay attention to the row number here, it's number 31. So what it's really doing is collapsing all the other rows that have entries so you can easily enter the new one. I've entered an example, and now go back to the cell that has the icon. This is what it looks like originally, and this is what it looks like when you filtered the column. So you can go back to that same one. Now we're going to select all, click OK. Now if you scroll down, you can see this is the new entry we just put in right here. Okay, so that's one way to use this sort/filter option. The other way to use it would be, let's say you want to see all the entries for your spouse. So we're going to click on that icon. So now it does matter what column we use it because this is where we want to see the information. So go ahead and click on that, and we're going to clear and select spouse. Okay, so you have to clear so it removes everything and then select what you want. Click OK. So once you do this, now it truncates that list. It only shows the items entered in for the spouse. Select all to go back to the original. Let's say you want to either rearrange this so that it is from the oldest to the most recent or sort alphabetically. I'll use the date as another example. We're going to do sort A to Z. And then once you do this, it's going to arrange the dates so you can see the oldest from 2021 is at the top and the newest is at the bottom. And you can do this the other way around and you can see the newest is right at the top and the oldest at the bottom. If you want to sort your category alphabetically, A to Z, you can see that it sorts it alphabetically. Whatever your preference is, you can go ahead and sort by that preference. Now I want to show you the mini dashboard. While you're in this tab, you can easily see how many participants there are, the total amount spent, the amount reimbursed. Okay, so this is just adding this amount in this column, out of pocket from this column. And if you paid with your HSA account, which is one of the options here for payment method. So if this is something you are using, you can select this when you use it, and then you can see the amount that you paid from your HSA account. All of these are controlled by formula, so you really don't have to do anything. The next two dashboards are read-only. You have one area where you can select information to be displayed, but that's it. And that's this area right here. So in the annual dashboard, you can view information per year. So if you click down here, you can see it goes from 2021 all the way to 2030. And of course, if you want to edit the years, you can change it right here. And right now, the year is 2024 and it's displaying information for 2024. I'll quickly walk through the information, then we'll change it to show you how it will change for the entire year. So again, we have a mini dashboard here displaying some information. So the total participants, average monthly spending for the year, total amount spent for the year. Okay, this will change when you change the year you have selected. Down here, it's going to show you for the current year. So regardless of what year you select here, it will show you information for the current year. So you can review the information for the year you've selected and kind of compare it to where you are right now to date. Okay, and then in this table, you can see the month, the amount that you spent and the amount reimbursed. Okay, so what it will do is take all the entries for a month, put it together, sum the amount and put it here, and sum the amount reimbursed and put it here. Okay, so all of these is done automatically for you, and you can see the total right here at the bottom of the table. Here are some graphs that display more information. So if you want to see the category with the highest expense, you can easily see it in this chart and the subcategories, and you can see the payments method distribution here. Now you can see the amount reimbursed versus how much was not reimbursed, so how much you spent in this graph. Okay, and here you can see how much was spent per person and how much reimbursed per person. So you can see child, self, spouse. It's all based on the information you have entered into your expense tracker. And again, the summary for the reimbursement per person. So here is per month and here's per person. Again, everything here is for the year you selected 2024. Okay, you can see that it says 2024 because we've selected 2024 here. That will change when we change the year. All right, and the last area is really a table that summarizes the category amount and the subcategory amount for the year 2024. And it's essentially where these graphs come from. So if you want to see it in form of a table from the highest to the lowest, that's what is displayed here. So if you are a visual person, you have that here. What does it look like when we change the year? You can see for 2021, we have 2 entries. And we'll go to the dashboard, select 2021. You can see that the year changes as well. So you can see 2021 here, 2021. So it's showing you that every single information that has 2021 above it is specific to that year. And the information here will not change because it's automatically recognizing 2024 as the current year, and it's going to show you that information right here. So you can compare the information for the year with the information from 2021. And of course, you can see the summary information for that as well. Change it to 2022. 2023, the information changes, and 2024, the information changes. And as you can see, the information here is the same as the information here because the year of recording this video is 2024. So it automatically recognizes that year and places that information here. All right. Now moving on to the next dashboard. This is a multi-year dashboard. Okay. And it's going to sum everything for you for all the years. So you don't have to select anything here. It's going to display the cumulative information for every single date that you have entered into the expense tracker. It starts with telling you how many participants that you have entered into the tracker area, the average amount you spend per year, average amount you've been reimbursed, and out-of-pocket costs. In this table, instead of seeing information by month, you see that it automatically adds it up by year. So the year, the amount spent, and the amount reimbursed. Up here, you can see total amount spent, amount reimbursed, and out-of-pocket all time. So again, this is adding every single expense entered for all the years. Similar to the other one, you can see the category and subcategory graphs, and these are obtained from this table. Participant distribution all time, and right here, the table that this graph is obtained from. Okay, the participants, the amount spent, and amount reimbursed. All right, so that is essentially how this template works. Remember, if you need to make any changes in the drop down, so we have several of them here, go back to the setup area, delete, add, or edit any of the cells as you need to. That brings me to the end of this tutorial. Like I said before, if you have any questions, my contact information can be found here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.